Hi guys, it's Wednesday, and that means classic rock on Waxing On. And today we're going to look at an American / Canadian band. Although I'm going to say we're heavy on the Canadian. Back in the early 60s, this band got together in the Toronto area. And again, I've mentioned Toronto, I don't know how many times during the episodes we've done. People recording there, people that came from there. The effect Toronto has had on the whole entertainment world, whether it be music, whether it's theater, whether it's TV, movies, the number of things that are filmed or take place in Toronto is just amazing. Toronto, greatest jazz concert ever with Dizzy Gillespie, Charlie Parker, Charles Mingus, Bud Powell, and Max Roach. I mean, they got together for one concert as a group, and it was in Toronto at Massey Hall. Toronto is the only Canadian second city located in Toronto. Toronto's won a couple of World Series. Toronto won the NBA championship, but that's aside. That's not about entertainment. Well, different kind of entertainment, maybe, right? But music and the arts, Toronto has been a central force in Canada and in the world. So this band got together in the early 60s. They were backing singer Ronnie Hawkins. And they left Toronto and migrated to the U.S. And their involvement continued in music with Bob Dylan, where they backed him on a number of recordings and also made recordings together. And of course, I'm talking about the band. Now, the band came into their own at the end of the 60s, the psychedelic 60s, with a sound that was very different. It was more folky, it was more stripped down, it wasn't a lot of heavy electrics, kind of very folksy. Now, give you some idea who's in the band, and this is why I say it's heavy on Canada. We've got Levon Helm from Elaine, Arkansas. He's our one American in there, and again, he was a very pivotal member of the band. Rick Danko from Norfolk County, just outside of Toronto, kind of southwest. Garth Hudson in Windsor, Ontario. Richard Manuel was in Stratford, Ontario, so a couple of Western Ontario guys. And Robbie Robertson, who was from Toronto. So pretty much a Canadian band that made its mark in the U.S. doing U.S. folky kind of music and rock. One of the first albums I got, now I didn't buy a lot of their albums, but I knew their songs. I mean, everybody knew The Weight. And that song is still popular. It still shows up in, movies, on soundtracks. That one is a timeless classic. And there's very few people that won't sing along when you get to the chorus of that song. I mean, everybody knows it. One of the first albums I got was another Discount Bin find. We're kind of dealing with that. And it's the band, recorded live in concert, just called The Night They Drove Old Dixie Down, Best of the Band. Now, this was actually recorded over a series of concerts they did, and it was released as Rock of Ages. Academy of Music in New York City, they did a series of concerts and recorded those live ones, made Rock of Ages. 11 of those songs were taken out to put in this disc. And these were, again, classic band tunes. Ones people are going to know. The Night They Drove Old Dixie Down, Across the Great Divide, Wheels on Fire, Rag Mama Rag, of course, The Weight, The Shape I'm In, Life is a Carnival, King Harvest. It is basically a greatest hits album. And some of the best that they've done. This was recorded after Woodstock and before they did another very classic album, or concert even, at Watson's Glen, which was actually one of the largest music concerts at that time. I know they thought Woodstock, it was big at 500,000 people. Watson's Glen brought in 600,000. And from that concert, and it featured the band, Grateful Dead and the Allman Brothers Band, they took out some of the segments and released the band at Watkins Glen. And this one was very different from the previous album because it was not the real commercial songs that people were familiar with off AM radio. And again, some that were outside the band, more cover tunes. Back to Memphis by Chuck Berry. We've got Endless Highway by Robbie Robertson, I Shall Be Released by Bob Dylan, and the band and Dylan were pretty tight in this era as well. They backed them on the one live concert album. They did Basement Tapes together. Loving You Is Sweeter Than Ever, it looks like Stevie Wonder. Too Wet to Work, written by Garth Hudson, so another original with the band. Don't You Tell Henry by Bob Dylan, which had also appeared on the Basement Tapes. Couple by Robbie Robertson, The Rumor, Time to Kill, and Up on Cripple Creek. So for me, out of this group of tunes, Cripple Creek is, one of the hits they pulled back out. A lot of the other ones I really wasn't familiar with, and the cover tunes, which are kind of nice to hear the band's take on it. So a group that's been around, and if you go back quite a few episodes ago, I looked at 3 essential concert videos, DVDs. And the other one, while I was checking out the band, if I was looking at the music, I'd also take time to go back and look at The Last Waltz. Martin Scorsese film, their final concert at Winterland in San Francisco. Lots of guest stars, lots of great music by the band, and it was their farewell when they were breaking up and not touring any longer. So, some good albums. Again, I don't know how many of these are still available. I guess Watson Glen probably is. This one, The Night They Drove Old Dixie Down, you're probably further ahead with The Rock of Ages, the actual concert CD, which would have all these hits on it. And as well, take a look at the video, The Last Waltz. Thanks for stopping by. We'll see you on Friday for something completely different. Till then, take care.